Alright, Playboys, here we go. Literally the most important thing I wanted to know all night. We got the refines here. Let's go ahead and pull them up. Also, we have the other information from the data mine coming in, so we're going to take a look at that right afterwards. So we got Merlinus' refine. We have the Halloween female Grima. 3 pages, goddamn. Okay, then we have Groudon. Okay, and then we have Solon, and then who else was it? Okay, Catherine. All right. So there we go. All of the refines. Let's take a look at them one by one. Of course, starting with the man himself. Okay, Merlinus, show us something. HP up 5. Unit can move to a space adjacent to an ally. Unit can move to a space adjacent to an ally, so he warps anywhere. Unlimited warping immediately with no restrictions. Okay. Yes, please. If unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, inflicts attack and speed -6 on the foe during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up. Okay, so that would be in combat for him. That's not a support effect, unfortunately, which actually would have been really good if it was, like if that was a range support. All right, then he's got Dagger 7, of course. Okay. So now the effect refine. If foe initiates combat or foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, inflicts attack and speed -6 on the foe and reduce damage from foe's attacks by 40% during combat. Alright, also, if a rally or movement assist skill is used, like reposition, shove, or pivot, is used by unit, grants attack and speed up 6, bonus doubler, and neutralize penalties on unit during combat, to target ally and to allies within 2 spaces of target ally after movement for 1 turn. Interesting. Okay, now, this is not on the same level as Seteth, unfortunately. However, I gotta admit, this is still pretty good. For a 3-star, first of all, he's got unlimited warping, which, I mean, that's legit. Like, anyone can find usage for that. Even though his attack sucks, if you build him with, like, a boatload of attack boosting skills like Verge of Death, Life and Death 5, or Life and Death 4 for the seal, and, like, just give him as much power as you can possibly manage to muster. And then you give him Layla's Dagger. Well, actually, no, you can't give him Layla's Dagger. If you give him Layla's Dagger, he can't use his refine. So, no, forget everything I just said, I guess. But he seems like he could just warp in and take something out that's already been weakened if 34 attack can manage to do something like that. But what the real utility is that he's just going to be able to reposition anyone from anywhere with his unlimited warping, which I think is pretty good. And then when he does that, he's just giving a pretty good support effect. Attack and speed up 6, bonus doubler, and nullify penalties in combat, which is pretty good. Like, I would say he's better than I expected. Let's put it like that. And I expected him to just be a throwaway refine. I think he's actually got some utility. So, alright, Merlinus held it down, surprisingly. Okay, we have the Halloween Grima up next. So, distant counter. If foe's range is 2, adaptive damage. If unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, inflicts attack, defense, and res -5 on the foe, and reduce the effect of deep wounds on unit by 50% during combat. And also, when special triggers, unit deals plus 10 damage and nullifies foe's DR. And also, if unit also deals damage to foe using a special during combat, recover 50% of max HP. Okay. Okay, so she picks up -1 special trigger. Very good. Grants attack, defense, and res up 4 to allies in 2 spaces of unit during combat. So, triple joint drives. For allies within 2 spaces of unit, if this unit's res is better than the ally's foe's res +5 at the start of combat, and foe's attack can trigger foe's special, inflicts scowl on the foe before foe's first attack, can't exceed foe's max special cooldown. Okay, so scowl support as well, which is pretty good. And then also, at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack, defense, and res -X on the foe, or X is 10% of unit's res at the start of combat +5, and reduce damage from foe's attacks by 20% of unit's res during combat. And we're still going. Okay. Alright, and also, if foe's attack can trigger foe's special, and unit's res is better than foe's res +5, inflicts scowl on foe before foe's first attack. Okay, the Scowl support is pretty nice. I will admit that much. The rest of it, I don't know, man, honestly. What movement type is she? Flying? Actually, flying is pretty good for the Scowl support, because you could put her on random, like, obstacles like mountains and stuff. And then, or like river tiles, and she'd be able to just be able to Scowl support people. I guess that's good. And then she's still giving triple drives. But, like, there's not really much justification in using her, though. Like, as opposed to somebody else who does that, like Veil, for example, but then is also a better unit. Yeah, I don't know about this one. She seems okay, but she's not, like, insane. Okay, so Groudon up next, Duessel. I keep calling him Groudon because that's what he looks like in Sacred Stones. If you know, you know. Okay, so grants defense up 3, enables Kanto 2. At start of combat, if foe's HP is over 75%, or if the number of allies adjacent to unit is less than or equal to 1, inflicts attack and defense -6 on the foe, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up, and reduces damage from foe's attacks by 20% of unit's defense during combat. Okay, so they added that there. 20% defense DR. Pretty good. Alright, and then the effect refine is... For foes in 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, inflicts attack and defense -5, neutralize bonuses to attack and defense, neutralize effects that grant special cooldown charge +X, and those foes can't make a follow-up. So, half a tempo. We got Wary Fighter, we got Lull, attack and defense, and then attack and defense -5. To foes in 3 rows or 3 columns. That is a drive debuff. That's pretty good. I mean, that's like Ashnard, but it's better than Ashnard level because it's a wider radius. Instead of being in 4 spaces, it's 3 rows and 3 columns centered on him. God damn. Alright, then also at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack and defense -6 on the foe, and deals damage equal to 20% of unit's defense during combat, and recovers 7 HP to unit after combat. Yeah, now see, this is a really good refine for him. But this is, like, still what we would expect from 3-star demotes, I would say. Like, this is what it would take to make a unit like Seteth good, which, luckily, Seteth got something like this. But for a 5-star exclusive, you would expect a little bit more, I want to say. But it's pretty good. At least his support abilities are looking pretty good. Okay, so Solon is next. This guy is going to be the GHB refine that we get. So at the start of turns 3 and 4, inflicts attack speed, defense, and res -7, gravity, guard, and flash on the closest foes in 5 spaces a unit through the next action. No chaining to enemies in 2 spaces. Alright, that's already not so great. Okay, also, if the foe initiates combat or foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, inflicts a penalty on foe's attack and res equal to the number of penalty effects active on foe, excluding stat penalties +6, and deals damage equal to 20% of unit's res during combat. Oh, that's pretty similar to what Valadar does, right? Like, Valadar is kind of similar to that. Okay, and then also at the start of player phase or enemy phase, inflicts attack and res -7 and sabotage on foes with res less than unit's res, and that are in 2 spaces of another foe through the next action. Pretty good. Honestly, like, you're definitely going to be able to hit a bunch of stuff with that. And then also at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack and res -6 on the foe and neutralize foe's bonuses to attack and res during combat, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. Alright, doesn't seem too bad, actually. He's got a pretty solid debuff there. He's getting a lot of bonus damage. On turns 3 and 4, he's able to do gravity, guard, and all stats -7. And also flash, too. Flash pretty good. It's only the closest foe, though. Closest foes within 5 spaces. It should have just been like all foes within 5 spaces if they were going to do that. If they weren't going to let him chain to enemies in 2 spaces. Because you already got to wait till turn 3 and 4 for this to activate. So, like, why not? Just let him hit. If you got to already wait that long, you might as well just hit the whole enemy team with it. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's okay. It's solid, but it's not anything better than solid. All right, and then finally, we've got Catherine over here. So speed up 3. At the start of turn, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants attack and speed up 6 and treachery to unit and allies in 2 spaces. Hello. That's pretty good. Treachery is still, to this day, one of the best bonus effects for dealing damage. Okay, also, at the start of combat, if foe's HP is over 50%, grants all stats up 5 to unit. We got null follow-up, full null follow-up there. And then also, if unit initiates combat, unit can make a follow-up attack before foe's next attack. So, null follow-up, desperation, all stats of 5, attack and speed up 6, and treachery support. Looking really good so far. Okay. If unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants all stats of 5 to unit, neutralize unit's penalties to attack and speed, and deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed during combat. And also, excluding on AoEs, and also if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make a follow-up attack by 25 would allow unit to trigger a follow-up attack. Triggers potent follow X%. Ooh, wow. So she has potent as well. Yeah, that's pretty substantial. Treachery is not an easy status effect to get. Certainly not at start of turn on every turn. The only accessible way I can think of outside of duo skills is Attuned or Arcane Lucina. When she swaps, then she gives treachery to allies, but you got to use an action to do that. This is just like instant treachery. That's pretty good. I think Catherine won, honestly. Like, looking at what everybody else does, I think for sure Catherine is in first place. I think Duessel might be in second place. And the only thing that matters is that Merlinus, he's usable. Like, they made him usable. He's not like a nobody, which I think, I actually very much appreciate that. Because they could have easily just given him absolutely nothing of value, but they didn't do that. They gave him unlimited warping. They gave him HP up 5, too, which can maybe come in handy if you're trying to do shenanigans. Because, like, this guy's got a lot of HP. That's actually his highest stat. So, that was cheeky of them to give him the extra HP there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below of these refines. But, like I said, I think Catherine pretty easily won this one. But, maybe you disagree. Let me know in the comments. And I will catch y'all again in just a moment.